court records revealing how the FBI tracked him down after news of the leak went public. And we're also learning more about how authorities say he accessed top secret materials before allegedly sharing them online. Plus,
it's terrifying, honestly, to think that we might go back to a place where a victim might feel that they're not going to believe me, that this is truly threatening.
When do threatening words become a crime? A convicted stalker is heading to the Supreme Court with his case claiming free speech. We talked to the family of the singer who says she feared for her life and break down the stakes. And
I think it was sort of imagining, you know, that world of public television and kind of telling a story within that.
Owen Wilson takes us inside his new movie Paint, channeling that signature hairdo in fictional Carl. Why Wilson says we should all find joy in painting. And good evening, I'm Phil Lipoff in tonight for Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We are following those stories, of course, and much more, including new developments in the legal battle over the abortion pill, with the Supreme Court weighing in to temporarily keep access available as it considers lower court rulings. Plus, cleanup still underway in South Florida after a deluge of more than 2 feet of rain fell in Fort Lauderdale alone in less than 24 hours. And protesters are back out on the street in France as the French president gets a win in his efforts to raise the retirement age. Our correspondents are fanned out across the country and around the world covering those stories and much more for you tonight. But we will begin with the latest fallout in that massive leak of Pentagon secrets. The suspect making his first appearance in court today less than 24 hours after his arrest. 21-year-old Jack Teixeira was charged with 2 counts, both having to do with retention and removal of classified documents. More charges are likely to come. Teixeira was an IT specialist with the Massachusetts Air National Guard who had top secret clearance. His father was seen leaving court today after shouting, "I love you, Jack," to his son inside. Court records claim Teixeira first copied paragraphs of text at work. Then, when he became concerned he would be caught, started taking them home to photograph them. The incident raising serious concerns about who has top secret security clearance. Investigative reporter Aaron Katersky leads us off tonight from Boston.
Tonight, the 21-year-old Air National Guardsman accused of putting the country's security at risk is behind bars, charged with leaking national defense secrets.
There are very serious penalties associated with that, and we intend to send that message, how important it is to our national security.
So do you have any comment about your son's charges here?
Jack Teixeira's father leaving court after calling out to his son, "I love you, Jack." Teixeira replying, "Love you too, Dad," before he was led from the room in handcuffs. Teixeira comes from a family with strong military ties. His mother volunteered with a veterans group. His stepfather retired after a 34-year career with the same unit Teixeira served, the 102nd Intelligence Wing at Joint Base Cape Cod. His senior year quote in his high school yearbook, "Actions speak louder than words." Online, Teixeira allegedly leading a group of about 24, mostly young men and teen boys, on the discussion forum Discord. Members of the group tell the Washington Post Teixeira was known as OG. He boasted of access to classified material, they said, and posted the secrets for them to see.
He was a very smart man. There's no way in any world that he would not know that he knew that these were illegal.
Someone spread those posts far beyond the small chat group, and they made their way around the world. Teixeira held a top-secret security clearance. Federal prosecutors said he improperly and unlawfully retained and transmitted national defense information to people not authorized to receive it, causing serious damage to the national security of the United States. Court records said Teixeira began posting classified information on Discord in December, first as paragraphs of text. Then, when he allegedly became concerned he could be discovered copying material at work, he began taking the documents to his residence and photographing them. Prosecutors suggested his fears of getting caught may have deepened last week. On the very day reports started circulating about the intelligence documents, the FBI said Teixeira started searching on his office computer for the word leak. The FBI said Discord helped investigators figure out who was behind the posts before an FBI SWAT team moved in to make the arrest. Teixeira sitting on his back deck as those heavily armed agents approached.
And Aaron joins us now from Boston. Aaron, Teixeira faces 2 charges right now, but certainly more could be on the way.
It seems possible, Phil, because so far the charges are based on one leaked document, and it's believed there are dozens more. The FBI is still working to determine the full breadth of Teixeira's alleged disclosures, who else he may have been working with, and what his motive was. But already today, Phil, with the charges so far, he faces up to 15 years in prison. Phil?
All right, Aaron Katersky from Boston tonight. Aaron, thank you. And now to the questions how a 21-year-old IT specialist could have had access to so much sensitive information, and why did it take the Pentagon so long to find out? ABC's Chief Global Affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, joins me now. Martha, the Pentagon has launched a review here.
They certainly have. And we heard the Pentagon spokesman saying just yesterday that there are stringent guidelines in place for safeguarding classified material, but that clearly did not work in this situation. Jack Teixeira had a top secret clearance at such a young age because he worked as an IT specialist, so he would need access to classified computers to make sure they were working properly. But there would be no reason for him to print or copy information for himself about ongoing intelligence operations. And yet, if the charges against him are true, that was occurring on a regular basis, and no one caught it. In fact, the Pentagon did not realize the leaks were even happening until many months later, and that was only because of a report in the New York Times. Phil?
Yeah, that seems really problematic. I'm certain the Pentagon is going to be looking into that for quite some time. Martha Raddatz, thank you so much. Now I want to bring in ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy, also former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East. Mick, thanks so much for taking the time. I know you spent years in the intelligence community. So what is the typical vetting process that goes into clearing service members for gaining access to this type of sensitive information?
So, Phil, the first, just joining the military, you go through a vetting process. It's not extensive, but it does look at your background to make sure you don't have any criminal record and things like that. And then to get a top secret security clearance, it usually takes around a year. They interview you, your family, your friends, your neighbors. They try to find people that you didn't actually provide them that may know you. It's very extensive. They look at your financial situation, all sorts of things to ensure that you are the type of person that they would want to give access to this level of sensitive material.
Well, Teixeira essentially worked as an IT specialist in his intelligence unit. His job, his formal title was Cyber Transport Systems Journeyman. As a very junior enlisted airman, do you believe he should have had access to some of our most sensitive secrets being in that position?
So I can see why he would have top secret clearance, because he gets on these systems. But there's a thing called need to know. For example, when I was in the Pentagon, I worked the Middle East. I had sensitive information on the Middle East. I didn't need to know sensitive information on North Korea, for example, so I didn't have it. But his specialty gave him access to a system which obviously had all this information on it. I think in the future, we're going to have to limit, yes, these individuals need to be able to get on the system, but if they open a document that they have no need to know, then that should trigger some kind of warning to a supervisor. And certainly if they try to print that document, that needs to trigger some kind of warning so they can investigate why this individual would be looking at this document and certainly why they would be printing it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You have looking at it in the first place and then printing it. Why would they need to be printing it? So there is that clearance at first, but after a service member gets the job and then gains access to top secret national security information, is there any kind of ongoing process to evaluate the mental health of these service members, sort of like a check-in as they're trusted with this information?
So yes, there is a interview that used to take place every 5 years where you had to sit down with a security investigator and they would go over all the things that they did when you originally got your security clearance. Now, there's simply a form you fill out. That happened like a year and a half ago, and I think that's something that they will have to look at, because now you fill out this form and then an investigator looks at it, and if something's flagged, then they ask you in for an interview. But obviously, if you're doing something nefarious, you're not going to flag yourself. But having an investigator look at you face to face, I think that is something that we need to look at going back to.
Mick, you know this well. This is by far not the first intelligence leak the U.S. has had to try to contain. Can you tell us what's been done in the past to try to put up some guardrails, I guess, to stop this? And obviously, not all the guardrails work. So what's the intelligence community doing now about it?
So unfortunately, sometimes whenever something happens, we look at what happened and then we add that to our investigation, our process of getting security. And I think we're going to do that now with, just why do individuals have the ability to click on documents that they have nothing to do with, and there's no sign whatsoever until they go back and look at it forensically that they did that. I think that's going to change. It's just something that the United States needs to do much better at going forward. And I think we will by looking at everything that happened in this event and then changing how we do things based on that investigation.
All right, ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy, thanks so much for your time and your expertise as always. Next, new developments in the legal battle over the abortion pill. Today, the Supreme Court moved to keep federal rules in place temporarily while it considers lower court rulings that have restricted its use or banned it outright. ABC's Rachel Scott on the story for us again tonight.
Tonight, the Supreme Court allowing the abortion pill mifepristone to stay widely available for now, putting on hold the several major restrictions that were set to go into effect in just a matter of hours. Justice Samuel Alito issuing a 5-day administrative stay, keeping the status quo for the pill used in more than half of abortions in the U.S., while the justices take more time to fully consider the court challenge.
We hope that the Supreme Court throws this case out. It is meritless, and it's undermining the FDA's authority.
It comes after a week of chaos and confusion as federal judges issued conflicting rulings over access to the abortion drug. The Biden administration asked the Supreme Court to intervene to block restrictions that would have gone into effect tomorrow, preventing women from accessing the drug after 7 weeks of pregnancy, requiring 3 in-person doctor visits, and making it unavailable by mail. As of now, mifepristone can still be administered up to 10 weeks of pregnancy and remains available via telehealth and by mail for at least 5 more days.
And Rachel joins me now. Rachel, where does this go from here?
Well, Phil, Justice Samuel Alito only putting this on hold until late Wednesday, which means we could learn as early as next week whether the Supreme Court decides to take up this case, Phil.
All right, Rachel Scott from the Supreme Court tonight. Rachel, thank you. We turn now to Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law banning abortions after 6 weeks late last night. Dr. Shelley Tian is an abortion care provider with Planned Parenthood of South, East, and North Florida. She joins me now to take a look at what this means for women in Florida and across the South. Dr. Tian, thanks for taking the time. As news spread of this law today, what are you hearing from your patients?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So yeah, this 6-week ban is truly devastating. It essentially robs patients and their families from being able to make a fundamental healthcare decision for their bodies.
Our Rachel Scott spoke with the bill's sponsor. Let's take a listen to some of what she said.
The women who choose life, who stay in Florida, they are going to be supported, and we are going to wrap around services to make sure that that life is protected and that we are holding up those families if they have a need.
All right, having said that, for the patients you serve, what's the reality there in terms of support and services?
Yeah, so I think it's very important that the public realizes the the profound impacts and amplitude of this ban. So first and foremost, of course, this ban impacts women who are pregnant, that don't want to be pregnant, that are seeking safe and compassionate abortion care. It also impacts women who have desired pregnancies that develop pregnancy complications throughout the course of their pregnancies. And complications can occur for a multitude of maternal and fetal reasons, where sometimes the safest option for families is to end the pregnancy. And thirdly, this ban impacts any healthcare provider, physicians, nurses, clinical staff that care for pregnant women. Safe abortion care is a part of women's health care, and providing 7 scientific, evidence-based counseling on contraception and abortion and provision of those services is an important and necessary part of our care. I understand that this ban has very narrow exceptions for maternal life, and maternal disability. But the reality is that there are many complex and nuanced health conditions that can develop in any pregnancy that don't fit these narrow exceptions. And it really puts physicians in an impossible position where they may feel that they have to delay or even withhold care for fear that their interventions will be misinterpreted in a court of law.
And doctor, for your patients in Florida and really from surrounding states, what does this law mean for their abortion care options?
So certainly it's another tremendous barrier. So we care for, I'm in Northern Florida and I care for patients in Northern Florida, but also the entire state of Florida. And because of restrictions in neighboring states, we care for patients in multitude of other states: Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. And so, these patients are already traveling hundreds of miles desperately seeking care, and they won't have that option anymore.
All right, Dr. Shelley Tien, thank you so much. This is obviously something we're going to continue to follow you as well, I would assume. We appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
And next tonight, the suspect in the stabbing death of tech CEO Bob Lee in San Francisco appearing before a judge for the first time. Court documents claiming the suspect confronted Lee about his sister hours later, stabbing him 3 times in a planned and deliberate attack. The video and text messages they say support their case. ABC's DeMarco Morgan in San Francisco.
Tonight, Nima Momeni, the man police say stabbed tech executive Bob Lee to death, making his first court appearance as prosecutors accused him of a planned and deliberate attack. Outside the courtroom, the suspect's sister now at the center of the case. Court documents allege Bob Lee knew Nima Momeni's sister, who lived in the luxury Millennium Tower apartment building. They say Lee, the sister, and a friend spent the afternoon drinking hours before Lee's death, and that Momeni later confronted Lee, asking if his sister had been doing drugs or anything inappropriate. Lee reassuring him nothing inappropriate had happened. Police say later that night, Lee joined Momeni and his sister at the Millennium Tower, and that cameras would show the 2 men driving off in Momeni's BMW around 2 a.m. to a dark, secluded area. Minutes later, Lee is seen walking away and injured. Prosecutors say he was stabbed 3 times, 1 penetrating his heart. A 4-inch kitchen knife was later recovered with blood on it.
Location is 365 Main, crossing of Folsom and Harrison. For a stabbing.
Police piecing together Lee's final moments with surveillance images like these obtained by the Daily Mail as he collapsed outside of an apartment building. Prosecutors say Nima Momeni fled the scene and left the victim to die. Momeni's sister allegedly sent a text message to Lee that night asking if Lee was doing okay. Just wanted to make sure you are doing okay because I know Nima came way down hard on you. And thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class.
And DeMarco joins us now from San Francisco. DeMarco, what are we learning about the timing of the arraignment here?
Well, Phil, the suspect's arraignment has been postponed until the end of the month, but he is currently being held without bail tonight here in San Francisco.
All right, DeMarco Morgan, thanks. Meantime, the brain of the Louisville, Kentucky mass shooting suspect will be tested for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, commonly known as CTE. A family spokesperson tells ABC News. CTE is a degenerative brain disease found in those with a history of repetitive brain trauma, often athletes and veterans. According to the Louisville Courier-Journal, the shooter experienced multiple concussions from playing sports as a child. The results of the testing, we're told, will take several weeks. Officials in Ohio say it is safe for people to go home after a train carrying toxic chemicals derailed in February. But they are encouraging East Palestine residents to use bottled water. Norfolk Southern says with the EPA, it has completed more than 115 in-home air tests and that none have detected any of the substances related to the incident. It says it's conducted more than 400 tests total. Yet officials are reporting that 3,500 fish across 12 different species died in Ohio waterways. And some residents report their pets, including cats and chickens, have also died. After surviving what one resident called rain of biblical proportions, South Florida residents are still trekking through floodwaters as we speak. This as the Sunshine State remains under a state of emergency. Victor Oquendo in Fort Lauderdale for us tonight.
Tonight, families in South Florida cleaning up after more than 2 feet of rain fell in Fort Lauderdale in less than 24 hours. That's more than a third of what the city gets in a typical year.
This is how you have to get to work now?
We met Elmi Maria, making her way through floodwaters on her way to work.
What's it like seeing your neighborhood like this?
It's bad, like knowing lots of people lost lots of property.
Water ruining much of what was inside Sylvia Koziel's home of 35 years.
We have no beds, no furniture, nothing to put back in there. Even our appliances are gone.
South of here in Hollandale Beach, tow truck drivers working nonstop.
We've been out here all night just clearing up some of the roads and just kind of moving some of the cars to the side and stuff like that.
And flights resuming at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, the storm shutting it down for more than a day.
And Victor joins me now. Victor, this must have been very difficult for first responders.
Absolutely, Phil. They have been very busy. They've had their hands full, more than 1,000 calls for help. And there is the chance for even more showers this evening. It's sprinkling a little bit now, but drier weather is on the way, giving residents here a much-needed break. Phil?
Victor Akendo from Fort Lauderdale tonight. Victor, thank you. The Justice Department with a sweeping crackdown on Mexico's Sinaloa cartel and its global network, accusing it of fueling America's fentanyl crisis. Attorney General Merrick Garland charged 28 people, including 3 sons of notorious drug lord El Chapo, who was serving a life sentence here in the U.S. Chemical suppliers in China also being charged. 8 of the accused are in custody, the U.S. offering rewards for several others. Overseas tonight, a victory for French President Emmanuel Macron. His plan to raise the retirement age to 64, getting the final nod despite months and months of nationwide mass protests. And tonight, after the ruling, protesters are back out on the streets. More than 100 people have been arrested so far. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge is in Paris for us. Tom.
Yeah, Phil, as you can see, there's a heavy police presence on the streets of Paris tonight as officers try and quell pockets of protest. Earlier, demonstrators clashing with riot police, setting fire to bins and bicycles. The government's unpopular law to raise the minimum retirement age here from 62 to 64 without a democratic vote has been approved by France's Constitutional Council after months of protest. President Emmanuel Macron saying people are living longer, so this reform is needed to balance the books. The new law takes effect in September, but the union's rejecting a meeting with Macron next week and promising more strikes. Tonight, protesters telling us they'll hit the streets again tomorrow. Phil?
All right, Tom Soufi-Burridge from Paris tonight. Tom, thank you. There's still much more to get to here on Prime. Coming up, the scary moments after a deadly house explosion, how neighbors stepped up to pull someone from all that rubble. But next, a convicted stalker is headed to the Supreme Court attempting to get his conviction overturned because of free speech. But the family of the woman he sent hundreds of Facebook messages to says it terrified her and changed the trajectory of her life.
It's very unfortunate that another individual, completely unprovoked, would be able to take that opportunity from her to live the life that she wanted to live.
Whenever news breaks,
the crush of families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado. From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas, ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. A convicted stalker from Colorado heads to the United States Supreme Court next week, asking the judges to toss out his conviction because of free speech. The man was sent to prison for sending hundreds of Facebook messages to a singer-songwriter he'd never met. She says she feared for her life. But when do threatening words become a crime? In our Prime Focus tonight, our Devin Dwyer has a closer look at the debate and the stakes far beyond this case.
Coles is a really unique and remarkable person. She just has this inherent spark of joy within her, and that's part of what makes her such an excellent performer.
If no one understands,
she can share that joy and project it from the stage.
like my daddy, I was born ready to run.
Hundreds of people would come out to see the shows, and it would be really exciting. It's very unfortunate that another individual, completely unprovoked, would be able to take that opportunity from her to live the life that she wanted to live.
Thank you so much.
Marita Whalen says her sister, singer-songwriter Coles Whalen, is still coping with a trauma that began more than a decade ago when a stranger began sending Coles messages on social media.
We knew the whole time that the situation was uncomfortable, and we might not have said stalking at the time, but it quickly progressed to that.
When did you consider it to be actually a threat and that there might be some real danger here?
The tone of the messages and the frequency changed, and that's when we were pushed to seek help from law enforcement.
The messages, hundreds of them from a man named Billy Ray Counterman, whom Whalen had never met, continued for years. Some sounding familiar. I'm going to the store. Would you like anything? Others unsettling. I'm currently unsupervised. I know it freaks me out too, but the possibilities are endless. And the alarming. You're not being good for human relations. Die. Don't need you.
There were messages where Mr. Counterman would reference details about where she had been or the vehicle she was driving, who she was hanging out with.
What kind of impact did it have on Coles?
It's a little hard to talk about. It had a significant impact on her. That lightheartedness that she used to always carry, sharing that joy with other people, it really got dampened, and she became much more protective and afraid.
Coles Whalen was so afraid, her sister says, she got a permit to carry a gun, hired a bodyguard for some concerts, and eventually stopped performing in public because of her fear. She declined our request for an interview to protect her privacy and security.
Were you convinced that he was out to threaten your sister, if not harm her?
We were convinced that he was an unstable individual and his actions would be unpredictable. We felt that he was very dangerous, and law enforcement agreed.
In 2016, authorities arrested and charged Counterman with stalking serious emotional distress. A jury later convicted him, and a judge imposed a sentence of 4.5 years behind bars.
We have a lot of heated speech online. And the First Amendment does not allow the government to make that a crime.
Jay Schweikert is an attorney at the Cato Institute, one of several groups, including the ACLU, that say punishing Counterman was wrong.
No one's here defending the messages that he was sending as model behavior for how to communicate with the public figure. It's whether it constituted a threat for which he could be put in prison for 4.5 years.
The First Amendment protects most speech, but not libel, obscenity, or what the Supreme Court has called true threats. Those can result in prosecution. As the justices take up Counterman's appeal, they're set to clarify when a threat becomes a crime.
The question here is whether you have to prove intent before you can put someone in prison for making a true threat.
Colorado law says threats become illegal when a reasonable person would suffer serious emotional distress from the communications. State Attorney General Phil Weiser says intent doesn't matter.
Under Colorado law, the specific intent of the stalker in this case is not the relevant factor. It's whether the victim would reasonably experience the fear of physical violence because the nature of the threats.
Counterman, who's already completed his sentence, says he never intended to harm Whalen and that not having to prove intent in court risks essentially criminalizing misunderstandings.
Why shouldn't the intent of the person speaking matter?
In the case of stalking, stalkers are often oblivious to reality. And if you require the state to have to show that they understood that their words were threatening and creating this fear of physical violence, you could actually let a lot of stalkers go.
Experts say it's a balancing act for law enforcement in the digital age.
How do you respond to critics who say this law could have a real chilling effect on speech?
We have not seen a chilling in speech. This case is about establishing a precedent that will govern not just the law of stalking, but cases of domestic violence, threats against schools or houses of worship, and many other contexts.
If the Supreme Court upholds this conviction, then a huge swath of online speech is open to potential criminal prosecution.
As the High Court now takes up the debate, the Whalen family says they hope the justices don't reopen old wounds.
It's terrifying, honestly, to think that we might go back to a place where a victim might feel that they're not going to believe me, that this is truly threatening, when clearly she felt that her life was at stake.
Has she been able to reclaim some of herself and calm some of the anxiety?
Absolutely. Coles is incredibly resilient and a very strong person. She has that inherent spark of joy within her. And really, there's no life circumstance or individual that can take that from her.
Our thanks to Devin Dwyer for that. And there is still much more to get to here. Coming up, 8 people were killed inside of a FedEx facility 2 years ago. The legal action their families are now taking against a gun distributor. Actor Owen Wilson talking about his new role playing a complicated artist, what he's saying about the comparisons to a very famous late painter. But next, the Phantom of the Opera is making his exit. As the acclaimed musical prepares to leave Broadway, we take a closer look at its impact by the numbers.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations presents the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
From America's #1 news comes the all-new ABC News app. Breaking news, incredible video, faster, smarter, and customizable to your interests. If you love being in the know, you're gonna love this. Experience the all-new ABC News app. Download it now.
Brooke Shields, the most photographed woman in the world.
A sexualized child model.
Exploitation.
What happened to her isn't really about her, it's just about women.
I let myself be vulnerable, and this is the first time I've ever spoken about what happened. I thought my one no should have been enough, you know.
When someone like Brooke Shields talks about it, it makes a difference.
I'm amazed that I survived any of it.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! Is this mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what people don't see during the commercial breaks.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasured that day.
I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
I was so young. I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls.
This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. Like, and it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey, I'm David Muir. Wherever the story, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Obviously, from the Phantom of the Opera, that iconic Broadway show, it will drop its famous chandelier on Broadway for the last time Sunday. We have a look at the Andrew Lloyd Webber classic by the numbers. 13,733 performances over more than 35 years makes the Phantom the longest running show in Broadway history. 19.8 million people have seen the show on Broadway, grossing $1.3 billion. That's according to the Broadway League. The haunting love story has received 70 major theater awards, including 7 Tonys and 4 Oliver Awards. And it is the biggest job producer in the U.S. theatrical history, creating an estimated 6,500 jobs, including 400 actors and 20 lifers. Lifers, staff, have been with the show since it opened in 1988. Think of that. After announcing the show's end, ticket sales spiked, delivering $2.2 million at the box office. That was last Thanksgiving, the show's highest grossing week ever. However, before that, audience had fallen off and revenue could no longer support the lavish production. Worldwide, the show has toured in 41 countries, 183 cities, delighting 145 million people in 17 languages with its gothic melodrama. The show will go on overseas, though. The original London production continues. Last year, a new production opened in Australia. This fall, the first Mandarin language production is scheduled to open in China, and Antonio Banderas is working on a new Spanish language version. So it will live on. There is much more ahead here on Prime. More controversy over TikTok and how much access it has to our information, how soon one state could ban the popular app entirely, and how would you like to grab a fistful of cash on your commute? Why one man threw $200,000 in cash onto a highway.
What does it take to be America's #1 news? It takes asking the straightforward, tough questions.
Do you believe that Donald Trump should ever be president again?
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
The news-making interviews.
You said there were 6 friends. One of them was sick.
Yeah.
Do you have future political aspirations?
Going to the front line.
The search for survivors. How does this war end?
And getting to the heart of the story.
Thank you for being here. We'll be here for the long run.
ABC News, #1 in the morning, the #1 newscast, #1 in daytime talk, Friday nights, Sunday mornings versus the competition, and the #1 streaming news. Thank you for making ABC News America's trusted, straightforward first choice.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. Been a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations present the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls.
This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. Like, and it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
13 women opened their doors to the man who would end their lives.
Truth and Lies, The Boston Strangler, the new true crime podcast series. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Boston Strangler, starring Keira Knightley, streaming on Hulu.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. A state gets closer to banning TikTok, the reports of a possible breakthrough in Parkinson's research, and a surprise for drivers when a man throws cash onto the highway. Those stories and more in tonight's Rundown.
Montana late today becoming the first state in the U.S. to pass a bill banning TikTok on all personal devices. The bill prohibits the popular social media app from operating within the state. If signed by the governor, it would take effect in January. TikTok has suggested it will take legal action. The Biden administration has threatened a nationwide ban demanding TikTok's Chinese owners sell the company because of concerns China could access users' personal data.
Victims and families affected by an April 2021 mass shooting at a FedEx facility have filed a lawsuit against the distributor of the gun that was used. The gun distributor, American Tactical, and some of its employees were named in the suit, along with magazine manufacturer Schmeiser GmbH. They have been accused of negligence and unlawful marketing, as well as having high-capacity magazines that are unnecessarily dangerous and enable mass shootings. 8 people were killed and 5 others wounded at the Indianapolis FedEx facility on April 15th, 2021. One person was killed and another injured after a house exploded in Berlin, Massachusetts. The mother and daughter were in a 2-story home when it exploded overnight. The mother was killed. The adult daughter became trapped under a section of the roof but was rescued by neighbors. The cause of the explosion has not been determined.
There's been a significant breakthrough in research into Parkinson's disease.
Researchers funded by the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research say they have found a biomarker for the disease, a misfolded protein, and that can be used to determine if a person has Parkinson's. This could rapidly accelerate the research to find a way to treat it. Now, we do need to note, to run this new test, you're going to need to collect spinal fluid, which is invasive, and even with this breakthrough, it could take many years to craft better drugs, then test them, and then bring them to market.
There could soon be a mass exodus of nursing staff in the U.S. A new survey shows 100,000 nurses quit during the pandemic, and hundreds of thousands more say they plan to leave or retire in the next 5 years. About half say they're emotionally drained. 60% say their workload has increased. It's estimated about 600,000 nurses with more than 10 years of experience could be leaving.
Some bystanders on I-5 in Oregon recently came into some unexpected cash. Oregon State Police said troopers responded near Eugene Tuesday night after hearing reports of money floating along the interstate and people stopping to try to get it. The man who threw the money, Colin Davis McCarthy, told troopers he wanted to gift the money and said he had thrown $200,000. Troopers asked McCarthy to not throw money to avoid a traffic hazard. KEZI reports that family members of McCarthy's told police that he had taken the money from their shared bank accounts and hoped that any bystanders who scooped up the cash might return it.
Now to Indiana, where several Republican presidential hopefuls are addressing the NRA's national convention underway in Indianapolis. Former President Trump and his former Vice President Mike Pence are both there. The first time they've been at the same event since leaving office. And that is where we find our Brittany Shepard. Brittany, good to see you. Today's speeches come after the latest mass shootings in Louisville and Nashville. And we did hear Pence weigh in on those, but using them to push back on calls for gun control. Let's take a listen.
President Biden, the Democrats have returned to the same tired arguments about gun control and gun confiscation. But we don't need gun control. We need crime control. We don't need lectures about the liberties of law-abiding citizens. We need solutions to protect our kids.
All right, so Brittany, give us a sense of the rest of his message and how it was received by the crowd.
Well, Phil, you hear that frustration in Pence's voice. That was energy that he brought through most of his remarks, that he was frustrated with Democratic calls for gun reform, that he thinks there needs to be crime reform instead. And a lot of what he offers, what Republicans have been offering for, I want to say years or probably decades. He offered his heart and thoughts and prayers. That message isn't new to us. He also offered what he believes to be sensible policy, including the death penalty for those who perpetrate these crimes, more armed presence in schools and community centers, and just overall, more crime enforcement in these cities and places where this crime is ratcheted up. But it's interesting to see how it was received. When he was first brought on stage, he was actually booed. And this is his home state. He was governor here, something of a homecoming for the Hoosier, and he was essentially edged out by a group he thought he might have in his pocket.
And former President Trump making a brief mention of the Louisville shooting, saying guns aren't the problem. Take a look.
This is not a gun problem. This is a mental health problem. This is a social problem. This is a cultural problem. This is a spiritual problem.
He seems to still have plenty of fans among the conservative faithful inside of the NRA specifically at this show.
Oh, absolutely, Phil. We might be in Pence's backyard, but we are in Trump country here at the NRA. I don't know if you can see supporters behind me, but there's tens of thousands of people in this convention center with MAGA hats, with Trump 2024 hats and shirts, people with expletives with Biden's name on it. This is a group of people who supported Trump's first election by $30 million. They're willing to do it again. I spoke to a bunch of convention goers throughout the day, them telling me that this is still Trump's Republican Party. They like that he's brash. They like that he's going to get in Alvin Bragg's face. They don't care about the indictments. They don't care about January 6th. They want someone who will stick up for their gun rights. And it's interesting. I talked to some of them about, well, under the Trump administration, bump stocks were banned. Do you care about that? And they said, well, honestly, you know what? All of that's fodder. I care because he cares about me. He's going to show up. He's going to fight back. And if he wants us, we will have him.
Yeah, and you know what? With all of what you just described, no one's really talking about how to fix the problem of kids dying in schools and mass shootings. It's a multi-pronged problem that people go to their corners. That's the problem. We need to meet in the middle, I guess. Brittany Shepard, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Now to the latest on the Wall Street Journal reporter detained in Russia. We are hearing from his family for the first time since the U.S. declared he's being wrongfully detained. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
The family of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich speaking out for the first time since he was detained by Russian security services last month.
I trusted his judgment. Of course, it makes things more difficult for me now because I feel that I've failed in some way as a father.
Gershkovich is being held on charges of espionage, charges the Wall Street Journal and the U.S. have both firmly denied. He's pleaded not guilty. Moscow claims he attempted to obtain classified military information. Gershkovich's parents immigrated from the then Soviet Union in 1979, telling the Journal they're trying to remain hopeful.
It's what's one of the American qualities that we absorbed. Be optimistic, believe in happy ending. That's where we stand right now. But I am not stupid. I understand what's involved, but that's what I choose to believe.
Gershkovich has reported from Russia since 2017, his sister praising his thoughtful coverage during his time there.
He was really passionate about showing other sides to Russia, the nuance and the beauty of it.
Trevor, for that. A chain of brush fires threatened several residential communities in Rockland County, New York, and forced people out of their homes, according to ABC-owned station WABC. Volunteer firefighters battled several brush fires along this train line. A county official said it's likely that track maintenance coupled with train traffic led to multiple fires. Police in nearby Clarkstown evacuated more than 100 homes. And this, a startling face-to-face encounter in Asheville, North Carolina. A home security camera showing the moment a man relaxing in his carport is jolted by a black bear sneaking up behind him. The bear appearing to be just as scared as he was. Both locking eyes, as you just saw for a moment, before the bear turned and ran. Finally tonight, we are one-on-one with actor Owen Wilson about his new movie, Paint. Why he says, despite the similarities to legendary PBS painter Bob Ross, it is most definitely not a biopic, and his philosophy about the joy of painting. Here's ABC's Zoreen Shah.
Thank you for going to a special place with me, Carl Nargle. Cut it.
Beneath that floppy fro is actor Owen Wilson, portraying a whispery-voiced public television painter named Carl Nargle.
The hair, you know, I can't imagine Carl Nargle looking any way but that, and it's amazing that you could get used to something and start to feel very comfortable in it. This is for you.
He plays a familiar artist you may think you know.
Mighty Mount Mansfield on an early, surprisingly chilly April morning.
Is this movie about Bob Ross? Is it a spoof?
I think it was sort of imagining, you know, that world of public television and kind of telling a story within that, and then using this character of Carl Nargle, who, you know, certainly has a Bob Ross look and, you know, a little bit of Art Garfunkel and Gordon Lightfoot. Even though the movie's set in 2008, he's set in 1977 because he hasn't had to change. Everything's going his way.
Fans love Wilson from his on-screen hilarity in films like Wedding Crashers alongside Vince Vaughn.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
He wrote me a letter. Says he's in love with you.
Or portraying erratic actor and wannabe brother Eli in The Royal Tenenbaums. His latest film, Paint, has viewers drawing some obvious comparisons between Carl Nargle and Bob Ross. But this is no biopic.
Brace yourself, you are going to get some calls. Sure. I'm not so good at doing imitations, and as great as Bob Ross's voice is and his manner, I couldn't quite get that, although it would have been, you know, useful, so I had to do sort of my version of what I think a, you know, public television painter who has a devoted fan base in Vermont might sound like.
You took someone clearly inspired by a character and then really changed them quite a bit.
Carl Nargle, what his sort of funny kind of struggle is that people don't really change unless they have to, and so everything's gone great for him, and then all of a sudden now, after decades, his standing and position is under siege with this new painter.
Done. Wilson's character faces an identity crisis when his local fame is thrown off by some new competition.
Hi, friends, and welcome to Paint with Ambrosia.
His reviews suffer, and his artistic empire begins to crumble around him.
Did you pull from any moments in your own life when you sort of thought about that?
There's definitely been, you know, more than a few terrible reviews, and I, you know, stay away from them just because I don't want to read them because, you know, it doesn't feel good. He's kind of saying it doesn't affect him, and you're like, gosh, what a brave guy. And then the next scene, you see him racing to try to, you know, pick up all the newspapers so no one will read this terrible profile on him.
And Wilson drew on his very own special connection to public television and the excitement behind this artistic world.
It's harder. My dad ran the PBS station in Dallas in the late 70s, and so as a kid going down to visit him, you know, that's an exciting place to, you know, have your dad working and seeing kind of the cameras and, you know, all the stuff that they're doing. I think my dad would get a kick out of this movie.
Wilson's foray into on-screen painting also helped him rediscover a passion that he says he really missed from his youth.
Well, I have been thinking about, well, why do all of us as a kid, you know, your parents give you crayons, you're always drawing at a restaurant and stuff. Why do we ever stop that? Because there is something, you know, that we get from it that still feels good.
It's a feeling that he's now passing on to his own boys.
Before we started, I took a, you know, I guess they're Bob Ross instructors or Bob Ross School of Painting, and I took it with my two boys, and we, you know, I think we did a pretty good job. I know that the paintings are hanging up, you know, in the house.
Carl had that one image he kept going back to. Did you have one image that you kept going back to?
There was a drawing I did as a kid of the Lone Ranger, and he was like fighting like the Marines, and you know, it had all these, and then planes and tanks, you know, a typical picture that a kid would be, you know, working on. And I messed up on the Lone Ranger's boot, one of them, and I was so frustrated that I did not want to finish, and my mother had to pay me to finish it because I didn't like the way it turned out, and I finished it. She took it and got it framed, and it still hangs up in the house today back in Dallas.
What's the one message that you want viewers to take away with? I mean, there's so many messages.
Well, I would hope that they find it funny, you know, the way I did when I first read the script, and that, you know, also kind of poignant, I think, some of the things that Carl is struggling, and that some of the other characters kind of talk about what can give your life meaning. That's something that I think can resonate for all of us.
Our thanks to Zorine and Owen for that. That's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. And thanks for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, as many finish their taxes this weekend, some may be taken advantage of by scams. How to spot these schemes before it's too late. And the latest fallout in the massive leak of Pentagon secrets. What happened as the suspect made a first appearance in court?
Much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis. Streaming weeknights. Right now in America, with so much at stake, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings. This is where the newsmakers come first in the morning to be heard. America's #1 morning show.
How would your mom feel about your relationship with your brother now?
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah.
Are you worried about going to jail?
You write that you had low-grade depression. How'd you get out of that?
Wherever the story, ABC's Good Morning America is right there.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations presents the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! This mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's what people don't see during the commercial break.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasure that day.
I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls. This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. Like, and it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
I'm Phil Lipoff in for Lindsay Davis tonight. Thank you for streaming with us. We are monitoring several developments here at ABC News at this hour. A January 6th rioter seen in chaotic video assaulting and pinning a Capitol police officer in a doorway was sentenced to 7 years and 6 months in prison. Patrick McCoy was at the front of that mob that trapped Capitol Police Officer Daniel Hodges as he was repeatedly assaulted by rioters. McCoy said what he did on January 6th was, quote, the greatest embarrassment of my life. Officials in Ohio say it is safe for people to go home after a train carrying toxic chemicals derailed in February. However, they are encouraging East Palestine residents to use bottled water. Norfolk Southern says with the EPA, it completed more than 115 in-home air tests and that none have detected any of the substances related to the incident. It says it's conducted more than 400 tests overall. Yet officials are reporting that 3,500 fish across 12 different species died in Ohio waterways. And some residents report their pets, including cats and chickens, have died. The Justice Department with a sweeping crackdown on Mexico's Sinaloa cartel and its global network, accusing them of fueling America's fentanyl crisis. Attorney General Merrick Garland charged 28 people, including 3 sons of notorious drug lord El Chapo, who is serving a life sentence here in the U.S. Chemical suppliers in China also being charged. 8 of the accused are in custody, the U.S. offering rewards for several others. Next to the latest fallout in that massive leak of Pentagon secrets, the suspect making his first appearance in court today less than 24 hours after his arrest. 21-year-old Jack Teixeira was charged with 2 counts, both having to do with retention and removal of classified documents. More charges are likely to come. Aaron Katersky has the latest developments from court in Boston.
Tonight, the 21-year-old Air National Guardsman accused of putting the country's security at risk is behind bars, charged with leaking national defense secrets.
There are very serious penalties associated with that, and we intend to send that message, how important it is to our national security.
So do you have any comment about your son's charges here?
Jack Teixeira's father leaving court after calling out to his son, "I love you, Jack." Teixeira replying, "Love you too, Dad," before he was led from the room in handcuffs. Teixeira comes from a family with strong military ties. His mother volunteered with a veterans group. His stepfather retired after a 34-year career with the same unit Teixeira served, the 102nd Intelligence Wing at Joint Base Cape Cod. His senior year quote in his high school yearbook, "Actions speak louder than words." Online, Teixeira allegedly leading a group of about 24, mostly young men and teen boys, on the discussion forum Discord. Members of the group tell the Washington Post Teixeira was known as OG. He boasted of access to classified material, they said, and posted the secrets for them to see.
He was a very smart man. There's no way in any world that he would not know that he knew that these were illegal.
Someone spread those posts far beyond the small chat group, and they made their way around the world. Teixeira held a top-secret security clearance. Federal prosecutors said he improperly and unlawfully retained and transmitted national defense information to people not authorized to receive it, causing serious damage to the national security of the United States. Court records said Teixeira began posting classified information on Discord in December, first as paragraphs of text. Then, when he allegedly became concerned he could be discovered copying material at work, he began taking the documents to his residence and photographing them. Prosecutors suggested his fears of getting caught may have deepened last week. On the very day reports started circulating about the intelligence documents, the FBI said Teixeira started searching on his office computer for the word leak. The FBI said Discord helped investigators figure out who was behind the posts before an FBI SWAT team moved in to make the arrest. Teixeira sitting on his back deck as those heavily armed agents approached.
Aaron Katersky from Boston. Aaron, thank you. Next, new developments in the legal battle over the abortion pill. Today, the Supreme Court moved to keep federal rules in place temporarily while it considers lower court rulings that have restricted its use or banned it outright. ABC's Rachel Scott is on the story again tonight.
Tonight, the Supreme Court allowing the abortion pill mifepristone to stay widely available for now, putting on hold the several major restrictions that were set to go into effect in just a matter of hours. Justice Samuel Alito issuing a 5-day administrative stay, keeping the status quo for the pill used in more than half of abortions in the U.S., while the justices take more time to fully consider the court challenge.
We hope that the Supreme Court throws this case out. It is meritless, and it's undermining the FDA's authority.
It comes after a week of chaos and confusion as federal judges issued conflicting rulings over access to the abortion drug. The Biden administration asked the Supreme Court to intervene to block restrictions that would have gone into effect tomorrow, preventing women from accessing the drug after 7 weeks of pregnancy, requiring 3 in-person doctor visits, and making it unavailable by mail. As of now, mifepristone can still be administered up to 10 weeks of pregnancy and remains available via telehealth and by mail for at least 5 more days.
Rachel, thank you. And next tonight, the suspect in the stabbing death of tech CEO Bob Lee in San Francisco appearing before a judge for the first time. Court documents claiming the suspect confronted Lee about his sister hours later, stabbing him 3 times in a planned and deliberate attack. The video and text messages, they say, support their case. ABC's DeMarco Morgan is in San Francisco.
Tonight, Nemo Momeni, the man police say stabbed tech executive Bob Lee to death, making his first court appearance as prosecutors accused him of a planned and deliberate attack. Outside the courtroom, the suspect's sister now at the center of the case. Court documents allege Bob Lee knew Nemo Momeni's sister, who lived in the luxury Millennium Tower apartment building. They say Lee, the sister, and a friend spent the afternoon drinking hours before Lee's death, and that Momeni later confronted Lee, asking if his sister had been doing drugs or anything inappropriate. Lee reassuring him nothing inappropriate had happened. Police say later that night, Lee joined Momeni and his sister at the Millennium Tower, and that cameras would show the 2 men driving off in Momeni's BMW around 2 a.m. to a dark, secluded area. Minutes later, Lee is seen walking away and injured. Prosecutors say he was stabbed 3 times, 1 penetrating his heart. A 4-inch kitchen knife was later recovered with blood on it.
Location is 365 Main, crossing of Folsom and Harrison. For stabbing.
Police piecing together Lee's final moments with surveillance images like these obtained by the Daily Mail as he collapsed outside of an apartment building. Prosecutors say Nemo Momeni fled the scene and left the victim to die. Momeni's sister allegedly sent a text message to Lee that night asking if Lee was doing okay. Just wanted to make sure you were doing okay because I know Nemo came way down hard on you. And thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class.
DeMarco Morgan for us from San Francisco. DeMarco, thank you. And here's a heads up. Taxes are almost due, and when it comes to taxes, the last thing you want to deal with is a scam. But unfortunately, tax scams are all too common. Here's ABC's Alexis Christoforous with what to look for.
Tax scams are prevalent across the country, with fraudsters often trying to impersonate the IRS.
These guys are always on the lookout for getting your money. And something just as valuable as money to them is your personal identity.
IRS spokesman Luis Garcia says there are some big red flags to watch out for. First, the IRS will not threaten you.
Whether it's with arrest from local police or they're going to foreclose or take your driver's license away or whatever threat it is, that's not the IRS.
And be suspicious if the person contacting you asks for a specific payment method.
That means you've got to send it through this payment app. Or you have to buy gift cards. I am the IRS spokesman. I'm telling you officially here right now, the IRS does not accept gift cards of any type for payment of federal taxes.
The IRS will not call you asking for your credit card number or other personal information, and they will never contact you through text messages or social media.
The IRS primarily is going to communicate with you through the mail. We occasionally, very rarely, we will reach out to you through the phone, but that person will identify themselves, give a badge number, and they will not threaten you. They will not demand immediate payment. They're not going to tell you have to pay a particular way.
Another red flag is urgency.
It gets your brain to stop thinking and only focus on, I've got to get this to stop. I've got to pay them right away.
If you want to verify the IRS is in fact contacting you, you can call 800-829-1040 to confirm.
Important information to know. Alexis, thank you for that. Republican presidential hopefuls addressed the NRA's national convention in Indianapolis today. Former President Trump and his former Vice President Mike Pence made appearances, the first time they've been at the same event since leaving office. Here's ABC's chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Appearing at the annual convention of the National Rifle Association today, some of the nation's top Republicans made it clear they would oppose any tightening of America's gun laws in the wake of recent mass shootings.
With me at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, no one will lay a finger on your firearms.
Former President Trump did mention the recent shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville, calling it monstrous. He also called the shooter who killed 5 in Louisville earlier this week evil and disturbed. Shortly before Trump spoke, former Vice President Pence took the stage.
Well, hello, NRA!
He faced scattered boos from those who apparently didn't like his recent remarks critical of Trump's behavior on January 6th. Pence also addressed the recent shootings, calling them unspeakable acts, and he called for measures to deal with mental health and school security, but he too ruled out any new gun laws.
We don't need gun control. We need crime control. We don't need lectures about the liberties of law-abiding citizens.
Republican South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem told the crowd her granddaughter, who is not yet 2 years old, already has her own guns.
I want to reassure you, she already has a shotgun and she already has a rifle. And she's got a little pony named Sparkles, too, so the girl is set up.
And John joins me now. John, the NRA convention is a big deal, especially in the lead up to a presidential election. So what other 2024 hopefuls made appearances?
Well, you know, just about everybody that's either declared they're running for president on the Republican side or is potentially going to be running for president felt a need to be there either in person or via satellite at the NRA convention. So DeSantis spoke to the convention, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Chris Sununu, Asa Hutchinson. Am I missing anybody? I mean, just about anybody who's thinking about running for president. So while there has been some talk in recent years about whether the NRA has lost some of its lobbying muscle, it sure showed today that Republicans who are thinking about running for president or are running feel they need to be there to address that crowd.
Absolutely. All right, John Karl, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And there is still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, she's a trailblazer who created a history-making series, a Black Lady sketch show. Robin Thede tells us how she created the formula for success. But next, protesters take to the streets in France again as officials there make a decision on a controversial pension law.
Families here in Poland.
Here in Kentucky, no match for the tornado.
From Monterey Park, California, on the ground in Ukraine.
Reporting from Uvalde, Texas.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
From Charleston, South Carolina, on the 2024 campaign trail.
From Kathmandu, Nepal.
Truckee, California, covering record snowfall.
Traveling with the president in Mexico City.
Wherever the story.
Here at this airport in Tampa, it's already shut down.
Reporting from the nurses on the picket line.
Reporting from Jerusalem.
Here at 10 Downing Street in London.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is. We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere. America's #1 streaming news.
Bring them on.
If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place that's spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends.
Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom. Boom! Boom! Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom! Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Monday on GMA.
I cannot do the famous Ted Koppel anchor voice, but he introduced your dad to the world.
Just who is Maury Schwartz?
The interview that inspired millions and the best-selling book, Tuesdays with Maury. Now, more than 25 years later, Maury's son Rob on his late father's legacy.
Let me ask you that question. Who was Maury Schwartz?
And on Maury's never-before-read final manuscript.
Why was it sitting in a drawer?
I'm Steve Osunsami. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We are tracking several headlines around the world right now. Protesters continue demonstrating even after French President Emmanuel Macron's flagship pension reform received the Constitutional Council's approval, with officials saying it will be signed into law and enter into force swiftly. The legislation, which pushes up the age at which one can draw a pension to 64 from 62, remains deeply unpopular. Argentina continues to battle skyrocketing inflation, which reached a whopping 103%. The country, a major global grains exporter, is also grappling with one of its worst droughts in history that has hammered soy, corn, and wheat crops, knocking billions off the economy from lost exports and fanning domestic prices. That has hammered salaries, pushing up poverty to near 40%. And a 50-year-old Spanish extreme athlete who spent almost a year and a half living 230 feet deep in a cave says her time without contact with the outside world flew by, and she didn't want to come out. In 500 days, Beatrice Flamini only came to the surface once for a week, and that was for technical reasons. The elite sportswoman, mountaineer, and climber began her challenge in November of 2021. And remember, that's before the Ukraine war, the cost of living crisis, and the death of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II. Flamini spent her time doing exercises, painting, drawing, and knitting woolly hats. According to a Spanish news agency, her experience has been used by scientists studying the impact of social isolation and the impact of circadian rhythms and sleep. She has quickly proven herself to be a force in comedy as the first Black woman to create a sketch comedy series. The writing room consists of only Black women writing for a show that features a slew of hilarious up-and-coming stars and a long list of celebrity guests. Lindsay Davis sat with Robin Thede to discuss the new season of the Emmy award-winning series, A Black Lady Sketch Show.
I mean, I don't blame him, you know? I've had to entertain many men to keep my water bill on.
Your what?
Water bill?
Water bill?
Yeah.
You paying for water?
Well, yeah, because you got to pay for your water, so you got to do what you got to do.
No, water is free.
It's very free.
It's the only thing we have free in this life.
Water's free?
All you do is take a bucket in the water, shake the worms out, and drink it.
Wait, but that's what you be doing too?
Yes. Yes, everyone does this.
And you just take it home and nobody goes, you better pay for this water.
4 seasons in. Did you think, like, every time it's going to get renewed, like, are you holding your breath or you're like, it's a shoo-in? People love it.
No, listen, nothing is a shoo-in. Like, no. I definitely am always holding my breath, and HBO has been just an incredible home, is an incredible home. And yeah, no, every time that renewal comes around, I'm like, oh, okay, great, great. You know, it's just so fun to make.
Showrunner, executive producer, writer, star creator.
Oh
How do you wear
Craft
all
service,
the hats?
transportation.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly, just because I have a big head, I guess. Yeah, I think for me, when I created the show, it was like I had a very specific way I wanted to make this show and how I wanted to show Black women and how I wanted to celebrate us. It was just kind of a natural progression, and the network was really behind it, and they were like, well, no Black woman has ever run a sketch show, so you're gonna do it.
So the last time we talked, it was after the 2nd season. Since then, you've gotten 13 Emmy nominations, won 3.
Yeah.
What do you think the secret sauce is?
You know, I think it's authenticity. We filled a need that people didn't even know that they had, right? I think that a Black Lady sketch show came out and it was just like, rawr, we're here. And people were like, what? And then it was like 6 episodes and they were like, we need more. So I think the key is having
these little small seasons that leave people wanting more. You don't want to overstay your welcome.
Then each year we add new cast, we add new characters, so we keep it fresh, but also have it rooted in kind of the home base of characters that people love.
And you have so many celebrity guest stars. How do you go about, do you seek them out, or people like, hey, I want to get on the show? Is it a little both?
I think the key for us is really starting on the page and really making sure that the characters are dynamic and interesting so that people want to play them, right? And then we send them out, handpick the people that we want on in the season, and we get lucky. We usually get a lot of yeses, which is incredible because I know how hard that is for other shows to book. So yeah, we've always had this kind of like fairy dust on the show that gives us a little extra, I think, luck in a lot of ways, which is really nice.
And when you talk about fairy dust, let's get into how difficult and unusual it is to have Black women in this space in particular. And, you know, one of your Emmy wins was actually historic.
All of them have been. The only 2 Black women nominated for variety sketch directing have been Dime Davis and Bridget Murphy-Stokes, both from our show, seasons 1 and season 3, and Bridget won last year. And then our Emmy Award-winning, 2-time Emmy Award-winning editors were the first all women of color editing team to be nominated and then also to win. So it's all of them. I mean, it's the first time Black women have ever had a sketch show nominated for series. You know, all of them end up being firsts. We have the most amount of Black women Emmy-nominated writers on any show. So yeah, it's crazy how many people get to add Emmy nominee and or Emmy winner to their names after working on this show. And that's so cool to me. It's so cool because at the end of the day, just making a silly sketch show, but it changes people's lives in so many ways that they wouldn't have had an opportunity elsewhere, maybe. So I'm really proud of that.
Why do you think it's necessary to have all women of color? Would a man not be able to be as funny or relevant?
No, men
or
are not funny. I think that's a pretty widely known fact. Now, look, men get the chance to do it all the time, right? So I think that having this really unique space where we get to play and where we get to be in charge is really fun. We definitely have like guys on our crew. Our DP is a guy, or our first AD is a guy, but you know, they come there with the attitude of like, celebrating Black women in the same way that we want to.
For someone who doesn't know the intricacies and has never even watched the show, why would you tell them they should watch?
They should watch because although it's singularly cast and singularly written, it's universally funny. So even if you're not a Black woman, we welcome everyone to watch the show because it is going to be a laugh riot, but it's also going to show you things that you didn't know Black women could do. And that's really exciting to me.
But it's not inside baseball. Like,
a lot of it can be, but I think there's an entry point with the sketch comedy of it all. And so there might be some jokes that you don't get, but you're going to get the humor at a base level because comedy is comedy. And for me, it's a universal language. It's like when I watch a Spanish telenovela or whatever, I don't understand what they're saying, but when there's a physical gag, I'm on the floor, you know? Or even in tone and inflection.
Sure.
But the good thing is we do speak English on this show, so for English speakers, it should be good. Actually, we're also translated in like 35 languages, so you can watch it all around the world. No, but I think, and you know what? You also don't have to have seen the first 3 seasons to get this season.
Okay.
I think we work really hard that even when we're doing like sequels and prequels to sketches, that we still kind of, you know, reintroduce the audience to the character and the narrative. So you can definitely pick up anywhere and watch the show.
Well, good luck to you in this next season. Thank you so much.
And our thanks to Lindsay and Robin. The latest season of A Black Lady Sketch Show airs on HBO Friday nights at 11 and then streams on HBO Max. And still to come, a woman signing up to be a living donor to help any match waiting for a transplant. But the need ended up being much closer to home.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls.
This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. Like, and it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out. Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television. Right now in America, with so much at stake, thank you for making ABC's This Week America's #1 news and politics show on Sunday mornings.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you? Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Welcome back. April is National Donate Life Month, and when one woman found out her husband needed a kidney transplant, she was inspired to help perfect strangers, so she signed up to be a living donor. What she didn't expect was to be the exact match her husband was looking for. Our Will Reeve with the story.
I'm here to donate a kidney to my husband.
June and Dexter Holliday are ready for a new beginning. The couple met in 1998 and were an instant match. But in late 2021, Dexter found out he needed a kidney transplant due to a genetic disorder called polycystic kidney disease.
That average time frame for a kidney with my blood type is 5 years for a deceased donor. So it's kind of a waiting game.
Hoping to find a living donor, the couple began spreading the word.
We had flyers. We had sent out over 400 Christmas cards.
June signed up to be a living donor, but the chances of her getting approved and matching Dexter were extremely rare. But after months of testing, June was approved and found out she's not just Dexter's soulmate.
She said, "You're cleared to donate to Dexter." And I said, "What?" I had no... She kind of left that out the first time. I think we finally breathed a sigh of relief for the first time in the whole journey.
Just last month, June giving her husband the gift of life. The surgeries simultaneous in rooms next door. Our Boston station WCVB was there at Massachusetts General Hospital.
To be a true perfect match, it's 1 out of 100,000, but we don't always have to have that exact perfect match.
Dr. Daggerford performing June's nephrectomy with some of the newest technology. And next door, Dr. Elias performing the transplant of June's kidney into Dexter.
It is not only life-changing, it's life-enhancing, and it's life-extending.
Ready to stay alive longer.
It is an amazing love story. Her willingness to do this, to continue to have a wonderful life with him for the rest of their lives together is beautiful.
I'm absolutely grateful. I mean, it's amazing.
It's a spare. Anyone can function on one kidney. I want to shout it from the rooftops, like, share your spare, share your spare.
Share your spare. What a beautiful story, Will Reeve. Thank you. And that's our show for tonight. I'm Phil Lipoff. ABC News Live is here for you all night with the latest news, context, and analysis. And you can always find us on Hulu, Roku, the ABC News app, and of course, abcnews.com.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations presents the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls.
This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. Like, and it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out. Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
With
so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. But a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
You never know what you're going to get on this show. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yes, Whoopi! This mic on? Can you hear me out there?
Behind the scenes is always a better show.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what people don't see during the commercial breaks.
Right, they don't.
What happened?
I had no idea really what I was getting myself into.
That day that we walked out, I treasure that day. I couldn't sit there.
You're doing good, Joy. You're doing good.
Oh, yeah, baby. It was crazy.
Behind the Table. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Brooke Shields, the most photographed woman in the world.
A sexualized child model.
Exploitation. What happened to her isn't really about her, it's just about women.
I let myself be vulnerable, and this is the first time I've ever spoken about what happened. I thought my one no should have been enough, you know.
When someone like Brooke Shields talks about it, it makes a difference.
I'm amazed that I survived any of it.
Reporting from LaGuardia Airport, I'm Gio Benitez. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
This is Nightline.
If I could describe Coldwater Creek in one word, I would choose the word treacherous.
Dirty.
Harmful.
Coldwater Creek water has no contamination in it at all. They test it regularly, and there's none.
I would describe Coldwater Creek as concerning.
I know she was.
We got home. How was recess today?
Jason Bell has called Florissant, Missouri home for most of his life.
How you gonna bring out the air quotes?
He's sent both of his kids to the same school that he attended as a boy, Jana Elementary.
My daughter just flourished there. She just felt like that was her home, a home away from home.
But in the summer of 2022, the school district sent a letter to parents saying that low levels of radioactive contamination were found on the banks of a creek on the edge of the school's property.
Within that letter, it kind of illustrated what the potential plans were, but nothing to be alarmed of.
The contaminations, the remnants of waste that decades ago spilled into Coldwater Creek, a tributary of the Missouri River that snakes across North St. Louis and runs right behind the school. But then confusion, another report released dominating the local news.
We begin tonight with community fear and worry.
Independent study found high levels of radioactive waste at the school.
It claimed there was contamination not just on the creek banks, but inside of the building, with radioactive lead dust found in the gym and in the boiler room. The school shuttered, and students like Jason's daughter were redistricted.
We don't know what to trust because the information is not transparent.
The Army Corps of Engineers insists the school is safe, but in March 2023, the school board announced
there is no expectation that Jana Elementary will reopen, and as we look to the future, we are committed to supporting all of our students and staff and fully embracing their new school communities.
There's a reason why we had to shut down the school. What is that reason?
The closing of Jana Elementary resurrecting a decades-long crisis. People here have been living with nuclear waste for generations. Some battling cancer they say was caused by the contamination.
She's not going to be able to see her boys grow up.
Others living in fear they could be next. All while a fierce debate rages over the storage and cleanup of waste.
What level of radiation seems safe?
Across the country, catastrophes continue to happen, spewing waste.
Train derailment that spewed toxic chemicals into the air and water.
The question now, where to take the toxic waste?
The train derailment in East Palestine, opening people's eyes to our vulnerabilities. But it's communities like this one who've already been living long-term with the consequences.
When we look at what happened in East Palestine and the worry that that the residents there have, it brings me back to this issue in North St. Louis.
The roots of this go back to World War II during the Manhattan Project.
From hidden factories over the nation, under heavy army protection, the first atomic bomb was assembled.
The top secret government initiative to research and develop the world's first nuclear weapons, including the atomic bomb.
So if we think about how to understand nuclear production, it is almost like an organism, a vast network that stretches throughout the continental United States.
And Mallinckrodt Chemical in downtown St. Louis was the heart of that network.
By July of 1942, they were producing 1 ton of purified uranium a day.
After the bomb was dropped, that secret became a source of St. Louis pride, but the city's patriotism was laced with consequences. Nuclear waste that needed to be stored.
Coldwater Creek runs along the edge of the lot that was chosen to be the storage area. As runoff and wind would blow the materials, large amounts ended up in the creek itself.
It wasn't until 1989 that the EPA formally labeled parts of North St. Louis County a Superfund site. Then in 1997, the Army Corps of Engineers took the lead on the cleanup as part of the formerly utilized site's Remedial Action Program, or FUSRAP.
We are charged with making sure that if there is contamination associated with those early activities, that we find it and remediate it in accordance with our authority and records of decision.
Philip Moser and Robin Parks both work on the team leading the Corps' cleanup effort. That process is called remediation. Soil samples are tested in an on-site lab. Any contaminated soil is identified, dug up, and shipped to a facility in Idaho by rail cars. The Army Corps of Engineers has until 2038 to finish the cleanup. How much has been cleaned up so far?
It's over 1 million cubic yards. That's over, I want to say, around 12,000 rail cars.
But the presence of radioactive material doesn't automatically mean a property will get cleaned up.
We have our remedial goals. Those are thresholds based on risk levels that are determined by federal agencies like EPA to be protective. Below that, we don't clean it up.
So that basically means there is contaminants there.
Correct.
It just doesn't meet the threshold of being cleaned up by this program. What level of radiation seems safe?
So the health hazard really has to do with risk and risk of cancer. Radiation's everywhere. It's in our bodies, it's part of the earth, it's everywhere naturally. Radiation at levels that are not acceptable, we find it and we remove it.
A 2019 report from the Agency for Toxic Substance and Disease Registry, or ATSDR, found that children and adults who regularly played in or around Coldwater Creek or lived in its floodplain for many years between the 1960s and 1990s could have increased the risk of developing lung cancer, bone cancer, or leukemia.
The Coldwater Creek sampling that we've done, we've taken over 34,000 samples. 4% of those have come back above our ROD remediation goals. So the amount of contamination out there is relatively small.
4% might seem small, but for the families that live here, some say the concern keeps them up at night.
Coldwater Creek is unfortunately a blight and a plague on our society, and certainly a huge monster to have on your kid's playground.
Ashley Burnaugh has been the PTA president at Jana Elementary since 2018. She says that for years she's been trying to get answers from the Corps and the Hazelwood School District about whether the creek poses any risk to students.
It's not just a fight that we're fighting with the Army Corps of Engineers, it's justice overall for our kids and the entire community here.
So in April 2022, with the help of Kristen Camuso and the Missouri Coalition for the Environment, Burnaugh filed a Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, request.
I wasn't necessarily surprised by the results of the FOIA, but motivated to get this out to the public and hold the Army Corps and the school district accountable.
The FOIA revealed that the school district had known about potential contamination for at least 5 months without making parents aware. In a letter sent in January of 2022, the Corps stated there was low-level radioactive contamination on this property located in the banks of Coldwater Creek, but that it did not pose an immediate risk in its current configuration below ground surface.
To find out that potentially they were being poisoned or harmed, that's terrifying.
We reached out to the Hazelwood School District and were told they had no further information to share.
I would like the Army Corps to be a little more upfront with the public. As far as cleaning it up, they are doing a great job. It's the communication. We just want you out here talking to us, understanding that people are scared.
Then last fall, 2 additional reports independent of the Corps came out. One by Boston Chemical, a group working for lawyers building a class action lawsuit. That study claimed to show elevated levels of radioactive lead in the school building. Another by SCI Engineering, who was hired by the school district, determined the school was safe. After those reports, the Corps came back in October and tested inside the school building. Is that school safe?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Would it be safe enough to send your children there?
Yes.
Yes, I would absolutely send my kids there.
There is contamination on the creek bank. We're not denying that. It is underneath the ground surface. So right now, no one is being exposed. You actually have to come in contact with it to be exposed.
I don't believe that the Army Corps can make that assumption, that this soil is going to remain undisturbed.
When we come back, the other communities living with waste.
East Palestine is only the tip of the iceberg.
And the lawmakers demanding answers.
Our government has a responsibility for the safety and well-being of those students.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations presents the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
Bring them on. If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. A place as spectacular as, well, me.
I think we might know a place, right, guys?
Bring your friends. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA, 7A, every day. Boom, boom, boom.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Robin. Good morning, America. How are you?
Boom! Now that's how you start your day, people.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's do it.
Yes, it's the show America wants and America needs right now.
This is What Would You Do? Let's go. How are you?
Can I hug you?
Yes.
So what will you be watching Saturdays on ABC News Live?
What would you do?
Hey, I guess I just found out.
The What Would You Do Marathon, 2 to 6 Eastern, every Saturday on ABC News Live.
My favorite show.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're going to love it.
With so much at stake in our world right now, we wanted to thank you for your trust and for making ABC News America's #1 news.
And thank you for making ABC News Live America's #1 streaming news.
With so much happening these days, it's hard to keep up.
Things change hour by hour, minute by minute.
The historic weather that's now unfolding.
The worries on Wall Street.
We're bringing you the Right Now. With a nationwide teacher shortage.
The Right Now look at the day ahead. An alert this morning for dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning, America's #1 early morning news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Get ready, America, every Friday.
The hottest trends, styles, and must-have. What's the right stuff to buy right now? I really love that. It's time to buy the right stuff.
Yes!
And save big time, too.
The right stuff.
Fridays on GMA. You're gonna love it.
For over 20 years, we've given some real-life superhero moms the mother of all surprises. It's GMA's Breakfast in Bed.
This is amazing. I had no idea.
And now, this year, we want to give our biggest, most epic live Mother's Day surprise yet to the most deserving mom.
Oh, my goodness.
So go now to GoodMorningAmerica.com or scan this QR code to find out how to enter to share your mom's story and honor her the GMA way.
Meep, what I'm asking you to do is dangerous. I need your help hiding my family.
What do I do?
Turn darkness into light.
We have to choose when we fight them. We don't let them choose for us.
We can't save everyone, but if I don't try, I don't think I'll be able to live with myself.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls. This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. And it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
We turn now to East Palestine, Ohio, where that train derailment spewed toxic chemicals into the air and water.
We have learned tonight nearly half of the CDC team deployed have now experienced some of the same symptoms that residents reported there.
The entire country has spent months watching what's happening in East Palestine, Ohio, where a train carrying combustible material recently derailed, releasing hazardous chemicals into the air, soil, and water nearby.
East Palestine, it's only the tip of the iceberg. We know that there are communities all over the country that have large amounts of hazardous chemicals going through their towns every day.
Experts say it could be months or years before we fully know the harmful effects these chemicals could have on residents.
We need medical monitoring over a long period of time. The problems often don't occur until many years after exposure.
For Representative Cori Bush, the situation in East Palestine felt familiar.
When we look at what happened in East Palestine and the worry that the residents there have, it brings me back to this issue in North St. Louis.
Bush represents North St. Louis, a community that's been dealing with waste since World War II. Here, it's radioactive contamination from the city's role in the secret government-run Manhattan Project that helped build nuclear weapons during World War II. Of particular worry for some residents in Missouri is Coldwater Creek.
I've talked to people who are the family members and loved ones of people who are no longer living, and they believe that it was directly related to the fact that Coldwater Creek runs through their backyard. These folks have been advocating for years.
Oh my gosh, Karen, it's so big.
Documents. Thousands and thousands.
Kristen Camuso meets regularly with Karen and Dawn, local moms and activists who are equally committed to raising awareness.
I don't think there's any safe level of Manhattan Project radioactive waste that you could be exposed to.
Right along the creek is St. Cyn Park, which the Army Corps of Engineers cleaned up back in 2015 and is next door to Gerard Osco's home.
Do you like coming here?
Not like I used to. I used to come down, I'd shoot baskets for a long time. Mary, every day she walked the path. At that time, we didn't know what was in this park.
Gerard and his wife Mary have lived here for decades, raising their 2 kids.
She was just full life. I mean, she's always been, high energy.
9 years ago, Mary was diagnosed with lung cancer. When we met the couple in January, the cancer had spread to Mary's brain.
How do you think it happened?
Shortly after we moved here, Mary started walking. We've got this park. Mary would get out there and walk every night.
Was Mary ever a smoker?
Never.
Did cancer run in her family?
No. Mm.
You blame the creek.
The contaminants that came from the creek, yes.
Mary and Gerard were part of a class action wrongful death lawsuit against several companies associated with the creation and disposal of the nuclear waste. The companies settled the lawsuit and a payment was divided between all the plaintiffs, but the companies were released from all liability. Before Mary was in hospice, she often spoke up, trying to raise awareness. Here, she's in an interview with CBS.
You'll never forget the moment they tell you we found lesions on your lung and your liver.
When we visited Gerard, he was spending his days tending to Mary.
She still can get angry about it to this, to this day. Because she's not going to be able to see her boys grow up. Her grandbabies, the youngest ones aren't going to know her. And that just kills her.
The Missouri Department of Health found that locals had significantly higher rates of multiple types of cancer, including leukemia, breast and kidney cancer, compared to the rest of the state. A lot of families have suffered. How do you explain that to them?
We understand that and feel for all the families. We can't undo what happened in the past. But what we can do right now is move forward, finding the contamination, remediating it, so that we can give them the peace of mind.
Parents and lawmakers alike are on edge after radioactive contamination was found at Jana Elementary, one of the community's schools. One study showed contamination as high as 22 times the expected background level. The Army Corps of Engineers acknowledges a low level of contamination on the nearby creek bank, but insists the school is safe.
Low levels of radiation, for me, any level should not be okay. Why put our children in a position to where there's the possibility of something that we just don't understand versus putting them in an environment where we know that they are safe?
Bush has worked across the aisle with Senator Josh Hawley, the two writing a letter demanding that all schools in the same district as Jana be tested.
I don't think it's too much to ask that this school district, and beginning with Jana Elementary, but the entire school district, get proper cleanup done.
The Hazelwood School District also sent a letter to the Department of Energy asking if all of their properties meet the qualifications needed for testing. In a statement to Nightline, the Department of Energy said they referred the board to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers St. Louis District, which can determine if there is a basis for investigation of any or all of the Hazelwood School District properties. While the cleanup process keeps moving, some people in North St. Louis say they are still waiting for answers and for a change.
St. Louis stepped up to save the nation during World War II, and I believe that it's the nation's turn to step up and save St. Louis. We just want this waste out of our community, and we shouldn't have to wait this long.
Stay with us.
So much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
A water crisis plaguing America.
I didn't know I was drinking poisonous water.
With every sip.
These are contaminants that you can't see, you can't taste, and you can't smell.
Every drip.
Your well's going dry.
Can we find a solution before it's too late?
This silent crisis was going on for decades and decades and decades.
ABC-owned television stations presents the premiere of a new docuseries, Our America, Trouble on Tap.
This is ABC News Live Prime.
Thanks so much for streaming with us.
Live reporting, breaking news, exclusives, award-winning, powerful, eye-opening. ABC News Live Prime with Lindsay Davis, streaming weeknights.
I was so young, I just wanted that body. I wanted to be like with the it girls.
This stuff has to come out.
Why are so many women now removing their implants?
I feel more feminine now with them out than I ever did with them in. And it always makes me want to cry, but I felt like my body was like, thank you.
Enough is enough. It all has to come out.
Impact by Nightline, now streaming on Hulu.
Brooke Shields, the most photographed woman in the world.
A sexualized child model.
Exploitation.
What happened to her isn't really about her, it's just about women.
I let myself be vulnerable, and this is the first time I've ever spoken about what happened. I thought my one no should have been enough, you know.
When someone like Brooke Shields talks about it, it makes a difference.
I'm amazed that I survived any of it.